We're getting a bit better at this now, aren't we, Thomas?
Yeah, so basically what we're doing is we're talking about what we've done after we've done it.
Before we've done...
When
we've done it.
Yeah, we talked about it afterwards.
We've just talked about it.
God knows, we're just introducing what we just talked about before. So basically, today's episode, we talked about clones, cuttings and mother plants. Some little tips, some what we do. If you've got any other better tips, let us know. We're not God, but just me and Stephen just having a talk on this equipment.
Giving you our opinions on how to grow mother plants.
Yeah.
Well, Thomas spoke most on this podcast. I asked a few questions because if we ever have mother plants in the shop, Thomas is the king when it comes to mothering plants.
But what you must understand is I'm no expert on mother plants, and I'm sure there's many, many, many people out there who have some really good tips for us. Please give us them. We love them.
You
we
might even
learn.
disagree with some of the things you've said.
Oh, I hope so. I can't wait for somebody to get on this show and absolutely give it to me.
We're not saying that taking the piss. We do actually want you to come on and
please.
have a debate with us.
Yeah, have a debate with us. Great. You can swear at me. You can say what you want to me.
So we talk about mothering plants, and we also talk about a relatively new product, compressed cocoa. You grow from Growth Technology, and we give you the lowdown on that product.
Also, we've got some new LEDs on test. I'm going to talk about them next week.
Yeah. Okay. The Razor LEDs.
Oh, Razor, super wafer thin. Just like them new TVs that you've got, these are sleek.
Nice. They do look good. They just went up in the shop today. Starting testing today. And we will let you know how they're going next week.
Yeah.
So sit back, listen to the podcast, and hopefully enjoy it.
And if you don't, just like us anyway.
Speak to you in a bit.
Welcome back, listeners, again, with myself, Thomas.
And myself, Stephen.
Today we've got not a very long podcast, just a very short one, simple one.
Little tips and tricks.
Mothering plants and mother plant. A plant that you wish to take clones or cuttings from. Very simple.
Is it, though? Is it simple?
Only if you make it complicated.
So when we're mothering a plant, we've grew a lot of plants before, and we had, if we're grown in soil, we had a bit of Terra Vega or any other soil nutrients.
Soil's a good basis to use.
Yeah.
Some people think hydroponics. There's no right or wrong, but I prefer soil. It's more easy to manage.
Yeah. You can make a few mistakes as well, and soil will
it's a lot more forgiving and stuff like that. If we was to have a mother plant, I would have this plant in a nice half decent sized pot.
Big pot.
Bit of soil. Now there's different variations of light you can use depending on how fast you want the mother plant to grow.
Yeah.
If you want the mother plant to grow fairly slowish, you want to keep it over a long period of time, you want to try and slow down the growth a bit, so you could use a less intense light, maybe CFL or something like that.
A light wave T5.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
And you're going to keep the plant in the growth cycle, because once it starts flowering, things become a lot more difficult then.
Okay, is that the hormones in the plant? Yeah.
So you've got to keep a nice healthy plant. You've got to adhere to its conditions still. You can't think, oh, it's just a mother plant, I'll just stick it in the corner and it'll be fine. No, it won't. It'll start becoming deficient and stuff like that. Give it a good temperature, some light. It won't need attending to as much as a normal crop would need to, but it'll still need some love. Yeah. People tend to think, oh, I'll just water it and then go back in 3 weeks, and you'll come back and it'll be all yellow and dying off. You need to prune it. You need to duplicate and double up your clone sites. Yeah. So, for instance, I've been to a mother plant before, and I've come to, and it just looked like a stick standing out the pot. I said, what's happened there? Oh, I've trimmed it all back. I said, okay. But you know, when you've trimmed it, you've left nothing to grow back. You've got a stick in the pot. Looks like a mop pole without the mop head sticking out of your pot. Oh, is that not good then, Thomas? No, just kill that one and forget about it. What you really need to do is, from the top of the plant, so from its apex, you don't want to remove any clones, because the rooting hormones aren't that good there, and you'll find it'll struggle a lot more to root. So you want to take your clones, cuttings, from round the sides of your plant. Now, when you take clones and cuttings, the plant's going to have an effect, and if you take it just before the node, it will shoot out 2 in its place.
Yeah.
And then you carry on like that. So every time you take a clone, it will then shoot double the amount back. If you're not good at taking clones, cuttings, and you just hack your plant away, it will just reproduce 1 again, so you'll be fighting against yourself.
Yeah.
Having a mother plant requires attention, and it requires letting the plant heal, regrowing what you've just took away, and also watching how the plant develops. That's key.
Okay.
What the plant will then do, so when you plant this plant and you decide, okay, this is going to be the queen bee, she's going to be the mother, what you've then got to do is spend time training it to the way that you want it. Now, where you take the clones will decide how the plant is going to grow. So it can bush out from the side, or it can bush out from the top. A lot of people see a bit of like a football. It's quite prominent.
Yeah.
Also, what you've got to be aware of is the more denser that this plant becomes, the more leaf is going to die within the centre of it, because the light can't penetrate.
Yeah, it's not getting any light.
So what you've then got to do is make sure you prune it well enough and good enough. Otherwise, it'll start to die within. And not only that, it'll get some maybe pest and disease from the core. So, top tips for mothering is pruning, keeping your eye on it. Don't take clones from the top, take them from the side. Only take them above the node. So, you have a node in the clone, but not only that, it allows 2 to come back. If you just chop it straight off the stalk, boom,
it's done.
It's done. It might grow 1 back and you'll be able to get your plant back, but it'll take even longer. Cloning and taking cuttings is a bit of a skill as well, and it takes a while to understand how the plant reacts to it. Not only will you see that, is you will see your plant materialise into a mother plant. When you first start taking off clones, you're setting the regime for the plant. The plant's still growing like a normal plant. Once you start hacking at these clones and taking them and doubling up the sites and doubling it up again, you'll start to see the plant produces clones.
Yeah.
Then it produces a shoot that is perfect size, perfect length, and is also quite strong and firm as well. And it'll produce lots of them. That's when you have a mother plant.
Okay.
From when you plant your plant and start trying to train it, that's still only a plant, which is due to be a mother plant from once you've trained it into being a mother plant. Yeah?
Okay.
With me so far?
I am.
So, that's a mother plant in a nutshell. I know a lot of people who keep them in hydroponics in a single bubble system. Not right or wrong. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm a 20 litre soil user.
Yeah.
Boom. Once it becomes root bound, you're going to either have to pot up the plant, or take some clones and end its life. Yeah. If you don't, once the pot becomes root bound, the plants will become deficient regularly. They'll become yellow, will get spots. It won't give off healthy life for its new generation. So if you want clones, cuttings to be healthy, of a good quality, mother plant needs to be healthy, of a good quality. Also, before you select your mother plant, so we have 10 small baby busy lizzies. For instance, we always used to have busy lizzies on our window ledge when I was a kid. We've got 10 busy lizzies, and we've labelled them 1 to 10. Now, number 1, he's really big, he's massive, he's growing, he's very green, and he's very healthy. But all of the rest have got issues in lime green, not moving, not doing anything. Which one are we going to select for our mother plant? We're not going to pick the crappy little runt, are we? We're going to pick the big one. Top tip for you. One thing I do know people do is they may have a crop full of busy lizzies, tomatoes, whatever. Whilst that crop is on grow, they will take a sea of clones from all of those plants. Now, what happens there is you get variation in plant life, its growth, how it develops, what it is. If you have one plant and take clones from that, it's exact clone. Gene, identical. So you know its strength and its durability and its hardness and everything about it is going to be identical within all of your clones. When you take a group of clones off a group of plants, you know that these plants are going to vary. They're going to be different traits within one another. So that's a few tips from myself to you guys.
I've got a few questions.
Okay.
In soil, what would be your preferred nutrients? What nutrients would you use? Would you use a boost? Would you use?
No, I just use a basic A and B feed. Well, if the mother plant was in cocoa, you'd probably use a CANNA A and B.
Yeah.
With soil, I'd be Terra Vega.
Yeah.
So I just use Terra Vega, and that'd be it. I'd probably feed it with nutrients once a week.
Mm-hmm.
The rest would be a bit of water. I'd have it on a slow light.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be developing really fast. I don't want it to grow mentally quick too fast, because you want the plant to be I want it to be managed over a long period of time.
Okay. There's a few products on the market. Metrop have a product called MAM, which is really specific to mother plants.
Never used it.
No.
Never tried it.
So we can't say whether it's good or bad.
No, I can't say.
It might be worth looking into for the people that are
interested.
There's
also one from...
Is it the black bottle?
Yeah.
Mother Care?
Mother Care.
So I think that's an additive that you can use to increase sites. So I always get
one thing I do know about that, people who've used that product said it was good. I haven't used it myself.
Yeah, that's all I can go off, as well as customers saying that they're really happy with that product. What about using something like Hydroponics Top Heavy Crop?
Never tried it.
But we know it would work
because it pushes up the plant.
Yeah.
So
producing more sites, producing a healthier plant.
Yeah.
Okay. If you wanted your plant to grow quicker, you wanted a big mother really quickly, what HPS light would you put it under? Metal halide? Would you put it under HPS?
In the past, I've had some under 600 watt HPS, and it'll just grow really, really fast.
Yeah.
So when you take the clones, it's repairing itself and growing extra sites really quickly.
Yeah.
Which is good if you want a fast,
spate of growth.
Yeah. But if you're trying to manage over a long period of time, you want to keep this plant for maybe a year or so, you need to slow it down a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to constantly be trying to pot up and stuff like that, and it'll have you working hard, to say the least. Metal
halides, probably, if you want to get yourself a ballast that will support metal halides, or digital ballast, get yourself a metal halide.
Because as you know, the metal halides, the white light, and a mother plant you want in the growth cycle. However, you can keep a mother plant on a dual spectrum bulb. Okay. It will be fine so long as the light cycle is adequate.
Yeah, and the temperatures aren't increasing the stretch.
Yeah.
So if you have big swings between day and night temperature, the stems are going to stretch, and it's just going to make it really awkward for you.
Yeah.
Okay, some really good points there. Nice one for talking us through.
I'm not going to go on about that too much. It's a bit of personal preference as well. I'm sure there's a million people. Well, I don't think there's a million people listening to this. I'm sure there's 100 people listening out there right now probably go, well, you know what, he's a little bit right, but I do this and I do that. Good stuff.
Let us know.
Let us know what you do.
Give us a message on what you do.
Give me some top tips, because I've been doing the same thing forever. So if anyone's got any good stuff for me to have a go off, please let me know, because I love to learn.
Yeah.
I don't know everything. I'm very, very, very far from it.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the rest of my life learning.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
It's daunting.
Because I realised how much you don't know.
Sound. Well, that was actually, before we finish, I know that there's 1,000,001 tutorials now to take one, but two things that I know that you do: the angle that you take the cut at. What angle's that?
45-degree angle.
Yeah, and why do we do it at that angle?
So when we take a clone, it helps the
regeneration.
The rooting process. It's supposed to stimulate the rooting process. Okay. Not only that, as soon as you take this clone, it needs to be very surgically clean in whatever instrument you use. Yeah, scalpel's preferably better. And as soon as you take this clone, I always say to everyone, within 5 seconds, we want to get that clone dipped into Clonex so we can seal the air out of the stem.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that'll hinder you.
Clonex being, everyone in the UK will know Clonex is the rooting hormone.
Yeah.
For the US, I don't know how big Clonex is in the US. I'm
not sure.
It's our biggest rooting hormone in the UK. It's the best.
If you guys use something different and that's really amazing and we don't know about it, please drop us an email. Let us know. We'd love to know what you guys are doing.
What's the second thing that you do? Do you ever get the scalpel and take a small microscopic shaving?
Some people do. I've never done that. And what they'll do is basically scrape some of the epidermis.
Okay.
But personally, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't do that. But I've seen quite a few people who do.
Some people do use it on.
Do you want to even know? Out of interest, here's a bit of personal interest. Did you know? Okay, so you know the cotton wool that girls use to clean off the toenail varnish.
Yeah.
So you can get that in a strip. Have you seen it in a flat strip form?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So hear me out a second. You can get a piece of that, right? Okay. Yeah. Now you can go to your plant, right, and a live growing plant. You can peel away a bit of the stalk, and then you can put Clonex round it,
Yeah.
and then you can put this cotton wool round it, put 2 little Lazzy bands on it so it holds, and what will happen is the plant will root while it's alive.
Sure.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing. No, they root, and then what you've got to do is, just as they're rooting and they touch the air, keep spraying it. If you keep it wet, it will be fine. Yeah, but you've got to watch out for it drying out. And then once it roots, just cut it and then you can plant it.
That is interesting.
Somebody showed me that just out of interest, and I was absolutely quite amazed by it. So,
I'm going to try that.
Yeah, you should do.
Well, the reason for the podcast today is because we believe it'd be beneficial to all you guys that are growing the F1 strains, any super tomatoes that you get, the sunflowers.
We just popped some flowers today, haven't we?
We did, yeah.
We've done the strawberries, and we've got some radishes just in the little beds as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
Lovely flower display as well outside the shop.
The reason I believe having a mother plant is so important is because do you remember last year we had the Carolina Reaper chili plant, and we didn't actually take any cuttings. We got one of the very first seeds in the UK, and we didn't actually take any cuttings because we were so intense on growing this plant. And I think it's really important because now we had to get more seeds and grow another plant. We've got seeds in the folder, but as Thomas said earlier, we don't know what the genetics of those were. This Carolina chili plant that we grew was absolutely phenomenal. The abundance of chilies and the hotness of them was perfect.
One thing I will say about that Carolina, it was susceptible to disease, pest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a trait that if we would have had a few others growing at that time and they wouldn't have had that trait, we would have selected a clone from that plant.
Yeah.
However, we're going to have to pop these seeds and start again and see what.
And that mother plant was in DWC as well. And I'll say, me and Thomas can both say from first-hand experience, that was incredibly hard to manage, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was every day. It was every day work on it.
And it come to the point at the end, it outgrew the system. It outgrew the 2.4 by 1.2 tent. We had to lift the bubble pot out of the DWC with a spaghetti junction of root. Then try and sort of cut it back and then put it in a 85 litre pot with soil.
Yeah.
We eventually got it in. We got the soil over it. It went into severe depression for 2 weeks. We put an HPS over it. Boom. Back it come then, didn't it? And it grew into a tree.
Yeah.
And eventually we picked all of the fruits. We had quite a lot. And we safeguarded our seed for the next year.
Yeah, we did. We made a few grown men cry, didn't we?
Yeah.
We actually had one that to call in sick. Call his boss while he was in the shop and said, "Boss, I can't make it in today. I've eaten a chili and I can't see."
Yeah. So that was really good.
Cool, well that's our little discussion on podcast, and I know that Thomas, just before we wrap up, we wanted to have a little chat about the You Grow Cocoa, a little bit of a different subject, and we wanted to give a shout out to the You Grow Cocoa.
Things that have been popping up lately, because you know how we love innovation, and we just love new stuff and what's going on, and we always keep our eye out. We've got the You Grow compressed cocoa.
Yeah, from Growth Technology.
Yeah. It's been flying out, hasn't it?
It has. Well, I got it when you were on holiday.
Yeah, you made the decision while I weren't here that you was going to go and spend thousands of pounds on this full pallet of stuff, and I've come back and thought,
I thought I could sell them before you were back.
God, what's he done here? I've left them to it again. And you know what? It's been flying out, and it's a high quality product. I had a look at the packaging, and it's got the same thing. So when I go and buy a fancy pair of shoes out to town, and you get a hologram on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Bloody hell, these bags of cocoa have got holograms on them and stuff like that. So it's a company that's really proud of themselves. Top quality product. I've had no bad issues with it. Every customer's been really happy with it, and it's doing really, really well. So I thought to mention it because we like it. Customers are liking it. If you don't know what it is, it's You Grow compressed cocoa.
There's two variants. There's the standard You Grow cocoa, it's 70 litres in a bag, and then there's the added rhizo. So the added rhizo is really going to help any new root formations. They can attach themselves to your rooting system and help the plant uptake nutrients. Both really good cocoa. On a pallet you get 180. We've done a pallet, no complaints, all good feedback. Just got our second pallet in the other day. Half the pallet's gone already. Nothing but good feedback. So good shout out to the guys.
Before we finish up, anyway, I've just chuckled to myself. You know what I'm like, Steve. I've just remembered something that you brought up to me last week, and I'm going to let you mention it.
Okay.
As you always do, you love to sift the internet, don't you?
Yeah.
And you love to just make sure everyone's on point.
Mm-hmm.
Which can be bad for us sometimes because we're never always on point. So we get shit wrong. We do get shit wrong because we are human beings. Yeah. And when we get it wrong, please phone us up and terrorise us and tell us we got it wrong.
And take the piss.
Yeah, and how we can rectify it. You spotted something on the website.
Please
enlighten our listeners.
So as I do, I'll just like to troll the internet during me breaks.
Yeah.
Not in work time, Thomas. Obviously.
Oh yeah, obviously.
So I'm going through the website. I'm looking at what other companies, what products they're selling, what descriptions they've got about them. It was my research actually for the Silicon podcast last week.
We tend to keep an eye on these companies who were really keen on sales and marketing.
Yeah, we do like to do that. Thomas might ask me to name the company, but what I'll do is...
it's Holland Hydroponics.
What I was going to say they sell Vitalink Silica Blast. It's not a product that we sell in our Vitalink range,
but it's something that we've been looking and reviewing.
Yeah.
And that's why it come to light. We weren't just trolling, looking at Holland's internet page. We were looking at a product that we're interested in, and lo and behold, something popped up.
So in the description, it said, told you about the silicon, and it said that also the Vitalink Silica can be used as a pH down. I sort of double took it and thought, wow, it can be used as a pH down. This must be a really amazing product. I must have a look at what this is made out of, because this goes against everything that silicon is. It's very nature. It's a pH down. Wow, let's have a look at this. So I went onto Vitalink's website, and no, it's just a standard silicon. A good silicon, probably, by all accounts, but a mistake there by whoever's written the page for Vitalink's silicon. It wasn't a copy and paste, because I went onto Vitalink's website, and they say it's a very good pH up, which is good for all silicons. Will pH up, apart from the diluted ones that we talked about last week. But yeah, Holland Hydroponics, super duper Vitalink silicon can also pH down. I don't think it does that. I think it's just an error on their part.
But if you guys are listening and you want to give us a call, please do. Speak to Steve, because that's his area. Anything to do with silicon and all that type of stuff.
We can educate you. It increases your pH.
That was a bit of a dig, that, Steve.
We can increase your pH, not decrease your pH.
And if you'd like to go through our website and pick up any of our spelling mistakes, I'm not asked, I can't spell anyway, so...
Go through our website, pick out the mistakes, because you do our job for us.
Yeah.
So, I'm just pointing out a mistake there so no one else pulls you up on it. Yeah. It's not like we're doing this on podcast, is it?
No, as if we do.
Booking thousands of listeners. Right, enjoy your rest of the Sunday. I have been Stephen.
And I have been Thomas.
Thank you for listening. Enjoy your Sunday and take it easy. Bye-bye.